Preparing to live stream meeting.
Yes.
And now I've got to go. Now I've got to go click on the got it. And now I can go to just to the group and pin it to featured.
Yes.
I'm not going to pin it to the top.
Okay.
Right. No. So I'm just going to pin it to featured. I need to refresh this page. Come, I don't want this. Turn off vertical tabs. No, thank you. I don't care for your vertical tabs. They're confusing. Going over the part read on Sunday in detail. All right. Yeah, pin to featured. It's a little slow. A little slow. All right. This is wonderful, Venus. So now I want to bring up something. Our intent here is to, because to go over the parts of the story read on the Sunday, to go over it in detail, because a few said, like, wow, it was so much. I didn't get to really even share all the notes that I made and the points that I made. It was just too much, and we didn't even get close to it. So, so now we're doing this, right? But I do want to say. Let me just share it to my own timeline as well while I'm about it. And Elizabeth is message here. Yeah. So let me see what she says. Yeah. All right.
So yes, I was feeling that too. That okay, it was, of course, this story. Of course, you are using it just as a leverage to discuss and share moreness. But this has so much into it, and the story itself is so interesting. So of course, everybody wants to discuss and share more.
Okay. So she's just saying with her job and that she's struggling to find the time. But all right, I said, yeah, we'll make time for you. All right. So this brings up an interesting point, though. Well, a bunch of the interesting points before we actually get started here. In this, that do we start now with part 3? Or do we want to go into the super detail going over part 1 and part 2 as well, or not? I feel we could just continue with part 3 because yeah. What do you think?
Because of some responses from yesterday, I think that to start it from the beginning would be a better idea.
Oh wow! Okay, all right. Okay, well we'll do that then. That's fine. I love this. I absolutely love this. Let's get right into it right away. Yeah, Ina? No need to wait. So, all right. Just closing my messages here before I screen share and pull up the. Well, where did my thing go now? I had it open. It just went missing. How did that get closed now? What's going on? Sorry. This is too strange. Yeah. Very weird. Oh, there it is. Oh, I see. Okay. It just opened up new tabs and it confused me. In the same window where I was. So used to new windows. This is exciting, Venus. So let's start with part 1 and let's go through it. I love this. I love that we doing it again too. If others come, they come. If they don't, they don't. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because this is a project that is so dear to us. And we enjoy doing this so much. It's a profound thing that it really doesn't matter. Yes. So
Exactly.
I just wonder if, just let me message Cher real quick. I'm not sure if she's aware that, yeah, yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm hoping she can come. I'm hoping she can come. All right. So let's put this. Yeah, I just want to get organized a little bit here. Sorry, but tardy. You know, Ramsey. See, I wanted to just bring it up. So, there we go. All right. Hello, Ramsey. Hello, Ramsey. Hello. Uh, hey, I turned off the sound. Yeah, I don't want to sound. There we go. So I just wanted to put that there so that I can see the comments while I have this part here. So, all right, there we go. Seeding the Dream, Chapter 0, Part 1. Part 1. Oh, my computer's on a bit of tardy, you see. So when I click, things happen that I don't know happens. So, uh, I don't need that. All right, Seeding the Dream, Chapter 0, Part 1. This is just in case anybody doesn't know watching this, but we already know this, capitalized terms. This is how we do this, like logic of emphasis, the combination with the hyphens, because that's a singular term. This is about emphasis. And what we are doing now is about emphasis. Emphasis is absolutely essential for retraining the brain. And so is repetition. And so is immersion. And one of the prime reasons that we are doing this daily, going over in detail, is this immersion, so that we don't go from Sunday to Sunday and so long as a week in between. No, if this is to make a difference in our lives, and one of the intents, I have many, many intents why I'm doing this, why Bean is doing this, right? Many intents. One of them
Yes.
is for us to also change and immerse in this mindset that is connected to the noble ideal, right? So we regard ourselves as aspirants. Yes, we aspire to learn more, know more, be more, and expand our range of tools, expand our ability to implement and use those tools, right, Bina? So this is all practice. Yeah, this is capital P practice. Capital P practice
Yes. Yes.
involves immersion and focus and repetition. But repetition doesn't mean it's doing the exact same thing. It's never the same. It seems that way, but it's never the same. So this is brilliant. So again, this emphasis in terms of the capitalized terms and the particular vocabulary, this is all about emphasis. Yes, and using your own vocabulary that's in your own dictionary of power. This immerses you into your own moreness and your own understanding of the moreness that you're creating for yourself. Right. So there's a real deeper sophistication going on here too. Yes. Hello, Bina.
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
Bina. Hello,
Okay.
Matt.
Just want to add something, because when you mentioned
Please,
about the
please.
capitalized terms we are
Yeah,
having, of course, the emphasis is the biggest and the main idea behind
yeah,
that. But what I personally experience and my personal understanding of capitalized terms is that, like, okay, if we are using normal ego, when we say that ego, it is just normal ego, and the concept behind that, everybody is aware of it. But when we say
yeah,
that capital E ego, so now we are connecting to the updated,
yeah,
aware version of that ego. So
yeah.
the word might be same, because of course
Exactly,
we need that. So we are not creating new words, but we are using capitalized terms for their updated versions also. Same
exactly,
terms, same concepts, but with the update and upgraded version.
exactly. Also, just something a little differently. Yes, right now we sort of speaking to anybody who may be listening. But as we go further here, we're just going to do what Veena and I do on a regular basis or with other
Yeah.
participants. We're just going to be doing it on our own thing here, right? So, all
Yes.
right, I'll try and pay attention to comments, but these weekly ones are more about who's on Zoom. So it's not that I'm going to ignore you, Ramsey, but you're welcome to come on Zoom. But I want to share how we go into this in detail, in that
Yes.
immersion. And so, because it's a different focus when you're doing a live and there's people and you got to pay attention, it takes extra attention and energy. And it's just a different way of doing it. So I really am. We're going to just do our own thing here, right? So I'm going to be more relating to and connecting to Bina or Show, whoever's here, right? And again, this is totally up to anybody. Bina and I do this kind of thing every day anyway, so we might as well go live. That's the bottom line here.
Mhm.
But we're doing this a bit specifically now. We're going over this with the intent of making this available to go over again in detail. Like Sam
Yes.
said, so much came up in that story that I never got a chance to really discuss any of it. And this is the thing with the cap reading. They can go off in tangents. We may not get to the end of this. We're not in here to get to the end. That's not the intent. The intent is to take what comes up and run with it and explore it and immerse with it and use pertinence and relevance, particularly to make that emphasis meaningful. Yes, it's a massively profound thing. It's a very big deal. It's nice to see you, Bina, by the way. Thing is, without read, you read, please, Bina.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I say you read, please.
Okay. Okay. So thing is, with our dreams, our goals, our aspirations, they are such a big deal to us. We tend to assume it's a big deal to attain them. And really, it isn't. For young
Yes.
This is so interesting because first time when I read this and I was like, oh, like seriously, like, okay. Because the idea, the value, the emphasis, the energy our dreams and our aspirations consume from us, they become a huge deal for us because we are thinking about
Yeah.
them day and night. So by default, we get into this idea that because it is a big deal for me to even imagine that, this is something
Yeah.
should be. This is a should. There is a should involved into that. This
Yeah.
should be very difficult to attain.
No.
This should be
No.
something out of this world.
No.
So how can I do
No.
this? How even
No.
sometimes we don't say that to ourselves, but we even doubt
No.
the universe's capability and capacity. That oh,
No.
like this is so
No.
big, I cannot imagine. That's how
No.
this is going to be so easy. But
No.
I love
No.
this young man's code because it brings you
No.
down to the reality and also
Exactly.
to the humility also. Like, okay, yes, it is a big deal for
No.
you, but not in a
No.
bigger picture.
No. 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 There we go. That when really it
It's
isn't.
so
Let's put it on.
humbling, so
Yes.
humbling.
It is exactly, and normally I'm not going to be talking about people's things, but shared this in posts many times. And earlier we were on, and Cher was here on Zoom. I had a lot of action on the Zoom. Anyway, and we were talking about and Cher's changes, and how things seemed like a big deal. And Cher was sharing how in the beginning she didn't understand things, didn't click, didn't get there. But now it's like, well, duh, right? So this really applies to Cher. Yeah.
Yes,
So Cher,
yes.
I hope you hear this. To me, Cher's persistence. I'm just loving on you a bit here, Cher. I just,
Oh yes, oh
just
yes, oh yes.
that persistence in the face of not knowing. It's an incredible thing, Cher. It's an incredibly beautiful thing. It's too fantastic. You know what? I wonder if Norma was keen to go over this. So I wonder. Let me just message Norma real quick here. Let me just go out of the screen share
This
and tell her
idea
that
is
we
this
live. Yeah,
idea
I'm
of
listening. I'm listening.
that our dreams are just big for us.
Oh,
We just inflate it because we want to be hero in our life. That's why we inflate the ideas also. Subconsciously, we do that. Oh, this is something I am achieving. This is something I'm doing. This is something I'm creating. So we inflate our ideas also because we want to
no,
be hero. We want to
Yeah.
feel that sense of achievement of something really difficult in our lives.
Yeah.
We make
Yeah.
things a bit complicated, or if not complicated, just more energy
Yeah.
consuming. Oh
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
to show that how
Yeah.
much I have been
Yeah.
doing or I'm doing right now. So
Exactly.
there are so many things involved into this. This just
Exactly.
one code. First thing, of
Exactly.
course, that it's very humbling. That okay, yes, it
Yeah.
might be difficult for us,
Yeah.
not for the
Yeah.
universe, not in the bigger
Yeah.
picture, not for others also,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
Exactly.
And the second,
Exactly.
exactly, and the second one is that we try to make things difficult. We want to
There
do
you
it.
go.
We want to
There you
have
go.
this
Wow, Bina, that's a big point. Why?
because we want to feel useful. We want to feel
Yeah.
not only, but also we want to look useful.
Yeah,
Okay,
and we want
yes,
to
I'm
feel
with
that it's an
you.
accomplishment. Yeah, if it's too easy, then
Exactly.
it's not an accomplishment. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm busy in something, okay, matter of
Yeah.
consequence, like
Yeah.
really high consequence. If anyone, whoever is listening, aware of the story of the Little Prince, okay, that was the phrase coming again and again in that story. That oh, I'm busy in the matter of high consequence. And this is
Yes, yes, they're
we
all high
all,
consequence. How important
yeah,
I am. How important I am. Yeah, 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 yeah,
we all want to be like that. We want to
yeah,
be like that. Oh yeah, this is what I'm doing.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes we do
yeah,
make our lives very difficult
yeah,
by keep practicing the same thing in every aspect of my life, like the
yeah,
relationship. People say that, oh, I'm getting all the time again and again. I'm having people in my life who are broken. It's our ego. I want to feel
yeah,
useful. That's why I'm just going to attract people in our life. Okay, I'm not saying that okay, bad relationship. I'm just talking about generally normal
yeah,
relationship in our life, and when we have something to do about it. Oh, I'm going to create something beautiful out of this mess. This is the idea because then I will feel
yeah.
good about myself. So this one, just
Huh.
one code right there is a lot to discuss about these things.
Yes, yes.
Many layers into that. So many layers.
And for me also, what comes up in that quote is our assumptions and the power of assumptions, and how those assumptions can create, we can call it like a microclimate bubble. Yes. So we're all aware of climate change and all the things, but we get microclimates that can be completely different to the general climate, which is really fascinating. And this is really a nice analogy for bubbles. And those microclimates can particularly be caused or created by assumptions. So if we look at this here, Bina, if we're saying on that quote now, let me pull it up again here. So I was on, yeah, just taking care of a message there. So, uh,
No problem.
yeah, yeah, all right, back to screen share. Oh, take this off. And oh, Joey is here. Hello, Joey. Joey, you're really welcome to come join us
Oh yes.
on Zoom. As are you,
Fine.
Ramsey. As are you.
Yes.
Again, you're really welcome. Joey, what this is, we're doing what we do usually on our Zoom, right? I mean, Bean and I, we talk about the stuff all the time, and but also with participants who are doing the program, we're going through this again, but in that depth and detailed way where we go off on tangents, and if something personal comes up, we're going to go into it. And
Yeah.
so whoever's going to come and join, obviously, is going to change the whole conversation here. And right now, it's just me and Bina going with the stuff that matters to us. Doesn't matter that we've done this many, many times before. It's always fresh, always new. So, so please come and join us. This is very great. Let's see. Somebody's joining. Who's this? I'd love you to come and join us. Really, both of you. Either way, yeah. It's really cool. So our focus is a bit different here with the
Oh,
live.
who is
Yeah.
here?
So
Who
you
is
see,
here?
somebody we've been trying to get to come on Zoom for a while now. I better wait till I connect the audio because she's not going to hear me, and I want to just kind of give her a bit of a squeeze there. Connected to audio. Somebody joining us who have been hoping to come on Zoom for a longer time, and here they are. So brilliant, brilliant. Cheryl,
Hello, Cheryl.
Cheryl. Awesome, awesome. Hello, Cheryl. Hello, Cheryl. Where are you? Oh, you're
Oh,
muted, Cheryl.
she's on mute. You are on mute, Cheryl.
Ask to unmute. Unmute yourself, Cheryl. There we go. Cheryl. 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 She was having a bit of trouble with her Zoom. So
Okay.
so maybe Cheryl, if you're not hearing us, and we're not hearing you, maybe if you are hearing us, leave and come back again. Sometimes if the audio's not right, that's what you got to do. Oh, there's Cheryl.
Yes.
There's Cheryl. There's Cheryl. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
There
Wow.
he
Looking.
is.
Wow. Wow. Brilliant. 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 Good to see you, Cheryl. Good to see you. Good to see you. Technology. Yes.
No, no sound.
No sound. Your mic. Check your mic volume. Right. You have to go into audio and then audio settings and check to see if the mic's volume is all the way up. It might be at the very bottom. Right. That happens sometimes.
Yes.
Right. We'll see. All right. In the meantime.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
In the meantime, like I said, Joey and Ramsey, this is open, and these are us hanging out, as you're going to see with Cheryl. Are you there, Cheryl?
Yes, Cheryl is here. We can
No, I
see
mean
her.
sound. All right,
No, the sound is.
Cheryl, leave and come back. All right,
Yes.
all right, yeah. Then that may reset it. Yeah. Cheryl's got new
Okay.
glasses, by the way, that she's getting used to.
Yes. The cool glasses, cool.
Yeah. Leave and come back. Well, if you're not going to leave, then I'm going to have to kick you.
Seriously, still like you have been waiting for this moment.
No.
You always say that to
Oh,
me also.
no.
Always say that to me
Oh,
also.
yeah, I know, but it's just me having fun. It's just me having fun.
You
It's just me
always say
having
this
fun.
to me also. That's why
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, today we're not doing lives the way we normally would do them, where you're paying attention, you got people coming. This is us hanging out. We're just hanging out and going live and
And all
making it
friends are
open for
welcome.
everybody.
All friends
Yeah,
are welcome to come and just have fun
exactly,
with us.
exactly, exactly,
Me and
exactly.
still we have something. We always say that what we are going to do today. So it is like taking over the world,
Yeah,
the same thing we do every day. So this is thinking in the
yeah,
brain. We always
yeah,
do that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
this is
yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah. Well, taking over the world of our own private worlds of
Oh, absolutely,
conception and
absolutely.
understanding and moreness and so on, right?
We
So
don't
to
have
go
big
back,
dreams
yeah,
in this regard.
yeah. To go back to that quote, because I just want to share this again with a quote, and I want to read it again because I was busy making a big point, and then we got all distracted. But we come back to it. See, and this is what we've developed this skill. And part of the capital R reading skill is this ability to go off on tangents and come back to where you were. Right? This is something that we can learn to do, that you don't get lost in your tangents. No matter how long they take, we come back, right? So this I'm going to reread the quote again and then make my point again. Thing is, with our dreams, our goals, our aspirations, they are such a big deal to us. We tend to assume it's a big deal to attain them, when really it isn't. The young man, very cool young man quote here. And the deeper understanding of this is that we are transferring an assumption from one thing to another. So this is a thinking issue, yes, and an assumption issue. That because our goals and aspirations are a big deal to us. Yes, they are a big deal to us, but that doesn't mean they are a big deal in themselves. It's a very tiny nuance, but that's what we're about. Now, if we go back to the very start of this, with the very first session we did on this, where we went into the intent of this project, of which this is a one of the programs in the Moreness project, right? We're dealing with the Nobleness program. It's one of multiple programs. And the intent of the Moreness project is to bring exquisiteness into our lives, to live exquisiteness, to have exquisiteness, be as part of our actions, our behaviors, our thinking, our speech, our nuance, our understanding, our perception, our perspective shifting, everything exquisite. Now, look at the exquisite difference there between my aspiration being a big deal to me and the aspiration itself being a big deal. Right?
Yes.
Now, does it necessarily mean that if my aspiration is a big deal to me, that to attain the aspiration itself isn't a big deal? It may be. My aspiration might be to go to Nobelia. Well, that is kind of a big deal. This is not really possible, right? So, however, on this quote is implying, and we are going to pay exquisite attention to implication. It is implying that the attainment of the aspiration is not as big a deal as my idea of it and its importance to me. The two are getting conflated. So we want to be really nuanced here and say it's not necessarily so, but it could be. It could be that the attainment of my aspiration is a big deal. I'm going to mute myself real quick, Bina,
Mm-hmm.
because I need to pay.
You already muted, Sil, so no problem. Okay. Cheryl is connected. Okay. Unmute yourself, Cheryl. Okay. Anyway, in the meantime, when you are going to fiddle with this quote just right there, I have read this, of course, many times, and every single time I get more and more value out of it. And when Sil was sharing this is so transformative, especially for people who are who are uh, who are aware of this law of attraction or law of assumptions. When we talk about these things, like how we attract things likewise as we are, especially in those situations where we assume that things are bigger. That's why people say that, okay, oh, because you were not achieving something what you were actually working for, because your subconscious was not aligned with what subconscious is not aligned with actually, because we assume that things are difficult, because things are difficult, because I want to be healed. We don't actually, in our spiritual terms, quote unquote, surrender to the power of the universe and just let it be. We want to control everything. We want to control the outcomes. We want to control the situations. We want to control our perspectives also. So everything, this control actually restrict us because we want to feel in control and we want to feel like a hero in every situation. Sometimes our mothers, especially, I have experienced that, and of course, observe also in my friends' mothers and relatives and aunties and everyone, because they don't have much in their life going on other than raising us, providing us everything, whatever we need, and they are our heroes. But for feeling that recognition, to getting this thing, they always try to give more because they want to feel good about themselves. They always try to give more and more and more and neglecting themselves because they assume that if they don't do that, we will not love them, we will not appreciate them, we will not acknowledge them. So it's never enough kind of thing also involved into this. We assume that, and everybody is like, okay, yeah, I try to give more and more and more and make
Wow.
things difficult.
Very powerful,
Okay,
Bina.
so
Very powerful.
yes,
Very powerful.
yes.
Cheryl, is your mic connected? Not yet.
Nope.
Nope, not yet. All right. So Cheryl, check in the audio settings. Make sure that the actual mic is selected. It
Okay,
may be. It is.
so just tell herself that where to look in the audio setting. The
Right.
arrow
So
next to the microphone.
yeah, right. Exactly. The little app arrow next to the when you move your cursor across your Zoom screen on the computer. On the phone, you've got to tap, but you're on the computer. So on the controls at the bottom there where it says audio, there's a little up arrow. You click on the up arrow and it says audio
Microphone,
settings.
yes.
Yeah. Or microphone, I mean, right? Audio settings. And you're doing that. And now it says microphone and it's got a bar there for the microphone level. So make sure that that bar is all the way up so that your microphone sensitivity, I think it's called, is at maximum, right? Because it may be at 0 and then we won't hear you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to check that the actual microphone itself is selected. That it's not doing, stereo mix or something else, some other microphone. Okay. And then the other point is, if this doesn't work, Cheryl, reboot your computer. Likely what happened is you were on Facebook Messenger or some other voice app that used the settings, and that's hogging. And this happens with audio, that when you use something, some of the apps can say, I'm going to hold on to these settings and you can't use them. And so therefore it doesn't let other things play together with it. This is just part of audio. I'm going to hold on to these settings and you can't use them.
Sorry, sir.
Oh, that's Bina making a noise there. Oh, okay. I thought Cheryl's stuff started working. All right. So just to reboot then, Cheryl, and come back. That's the quickest way. Because if it's not working this way, and you are the right microphone is selected, then it's something else is holding on to the settings and not releasing them. Okay. There we go. All right, so you got that. So too wonderful, too wonderful. I love this. So again, to go back to this point of nuance, that we really want to develop this exquisite discernment, to start paying attention to where our assumptions, where our beliefs may be, just by simply their presence, be connecting and influencing things that are next to them, that are associated with them. And this happens, we're not even aware of it. Like in this case, right? The two things are just related. They're just there. My aspiration and the attainment of my aspiration. It's actually two different things. Yeah, we tend to lump them into the same category, but not really the same. Actually, very different, right? For me to aspire to something and me to actually do it and actually attain it is two different things. So an aspiration is a very powerful thing, very powerful. And of course, this brings up the word aspirations, which is rather interesting that I don't have it capitalized here. Yeah, Bina? Yeah.
Yes.
Let's change that. Let's change that. I mean, it is a capital A term for me.
Yes.
And, so yeah, so that's the magic of these programs. They're living programs. They're living, they change, they get updated. And every now and then I will add things that, those I discuss with, that they bring into it. So very cool. Joey and Ramsey, I know you're there and I know this is about me and Bina doing our thing. But if you guys had left over any comments or thoughts or ideas from yesterday, please share. We're starting at part 1 now. Just because we like to be complete and to catch up and that, but we can jump to part 3. It's not a problem. So if you have anything, please share. I find it very hard to not be inclusive. Inclusivity is a capital I term for me. It's in my dictionary of power. Inclusivity is a big, 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 big deal. It's a huge deal. All right. So Bina, are you ready to read,
Oh, yes. Yes.
or should we wait for Cheryl?
I know that she's going to come again soon or
Oh,
not.
she is. She's just rebooting her laptop.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, she'll come again. Yeah, just to reset that audio. I think this happened once before with Cheryl, if I remember correctly. See? Oh, yes, Lisa now. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is getting really fun. This is really fun.
Oh, yes.
This is too fun. So see,
There you
perfect timing.
go. Hello,
Uh,
Lisa.
if,
Hello.
if,
Hello. Okay,
Yes.
so I got a question.
Yes.
please.
All
Wow,
right,
right out of the
so
box.
so you say, so it says that we tend to assume it's a big deal to attain them when really
Yeah.
it isn't. So what is the bridge? What is the bridge between our aspirations and attainment?
This is going to come. This is going to come in the next slides.
Yeah, I know, but that's a great question now. I love
Yes.
this. So all it is to take a more detailed look at what our aspiration actually is, and then
Yes.
to assess it and say, is this aspiration something that I can actually attain? So it's simply making that assessment of the viability in a practical, realistic way of our aspiration. Now, and this is a fabulous question. The bridge is to say, are my aspirations actually aspirations that I actually intend to attain? Because many times aspirations, at least to many, the word aspiration implies not really attainable. Yes. Right. So this is a big deal. Again, we're looking at this nuance of close association and what aspiration means. So for me, an aspiration is absolutely something that I fully, fully, fully and thoroughly intend to attain. Yeah, this
However,
is it.
on Nobelia, we're, in the story, there's a big deal made about how they're aspirants, not
Correct.
actual nobles, because
Correct. Correct.
it's
New
the
nobles. New,
process.
new,
It's the
new.
process, not the attainment.
Exactly.
I mean,
All
like,
right.
how can you attain
Right. Right. Right.
nobility?
Right.
It's something you
Right.
always
Right.
aspire to. We're always
Right.
growing. So do we
Right.
ever really ever attain?
Yes. Exactly. Sorry. I'm interrupting. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do we really ever attain?
I mean, really, do we? So in a way, it is a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
yes, yes. I love this. I love this. I love this. This is nuance. This is absolute exquisite nuance that we're about. So you bringing up a big point that comes later in the story, but we'll deal with it now. So yes, some of our aspirations, are huge aspirations. They are huge, right? And it is a big deal to attain them. However, it's again nuance. My aspiration to be a new noble, not the regular noble, right? We've got to stick on that term because otherwise Biella's going to tell you every time, oh, sorry, new noble or one of them, right? Because they're very sticky on this point because it's a big deal. The language is important here because otherwise we get into that old associations. But anyway, to develop the qualities of nobility and moreness, yes, that is a big deal to attain it. This is a lifelong practice, and I may never get there. However, Lisa, that doesn't mean that it is actually impossible. And furthermore, it doesn't mean that the pursuit of this is not worthwhile. I may
Right.
never
Well,
get there, but the
right.
pursuit is worthwhile. Yeah.
Right. And so on the note of language,
Yeah.
it's like we tend to assume it's a big deal to attain them. Well, maybe when really it
Oh.
isn't. We tend to assume it's a big deal to explore them, or to pursue them, or to I don't know, because
Yeah.
we never
Yeah.
really attain.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
maybe attain is
Right.
it's a
Right.
very
Right.
strong word.
Right.
It's
Right.
like
Right. Right.
saying
Right. Right.
you've
Right. Right.
arrived when
Yeah.
you never
Exactly.
will.
Exactly. And that's the power of such quotes and the power of doing this kind of detailed dissection and discernment is when we start to look at this, we start to realize that, yes, this word attain is there, and I do seek to attain my aspirations. But some of my aspirations are so huge that I might never attain them. But what I do attain is the value from pursuing the attainment. What I do
Exactly.
attain
I like the
is the
word
value
pursue. It's
of
not
the
that hard to
pursuit.
pursue it. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But if we go into the nuance, because again, we're dissecting this in this quote, the intent is this multi-layeredness, which is why I've put these quotes in there. The multi-layeredness absolutely comes with the thing. Yeah. 1 second. So I'm saying that in this, the multi-layeredness of this, in this particular quote, that we know that we also want to say that we want to take on this attitude that even though the attainment of an aspiration, like becoming a new noble or having nobility in our lives, is a big deal, I want to treat it as if it isn't.
I understand it, and it is a very
Yeah.
powerful quote. It's
Right,
like
right.
the visual that comes to mind is like at a dog trap when the dogs are running after the carrot. You know, they're running so hard to catch that carrot, and they're running and they're running and they're enjoying running, but they never quite catch it.
Exactly. So this goes to a core fundamental of this entire program, or this nobleness program, which is part of the bigger Mourners Project. But this particular part, it's the heart of the Mourners Project, so it's very key. And this theme is about motivation. So this quote is about leveraging our motivation to understand that, yes, the reality may be that it is a big deal, but I'm going to insist as a point of leverage, as a point of self-motivation, to insist that it's not a big deal. Because on some aspirations, it isn't a big deal to attain them, right? We might think so, but it's not really. There are many, many aspirations. Like I might aspire to get rid of my bad temper. That's much less of a big deal than we think it to be, right? Some may believe it to be impossible. Or like, and show in a very physical way, show posted about her weight loss, right? She put that wonderful post up there, 80 pounds, and she says she's got more to go. But, 80 pounds, this is a massive big deal. But at the time, and I remember this, before this started to happen for sure, she thought of this as an impossibility. It wasn't real to her. It was an aspiration. It was a dream. It was one of those that was a big deal to her to do it, but she tended to assume it was a big deal to attain it, when really it wasn't. So it can come in very practical ways too. So we're covering this whole quote here, addresses the entire range of nuance. How we take these terms to mean aspiration and attain, and we say they're on a scale. So attainment can be simple, it cannot be a big deal, and it can also be a big deal. So there's the actual sort of reality of attainment, and also the aspirations themselves. I can have easily attainable aspirations and impossible aspirations. But nonetheless, when we start to look at the deep nuance, we tend to assume. We don't need to assume. We want to actually be a bit more specific. And if it is a big deal, like in terms of becoming, developing nobility, we can say, all right, fine, it is a big deal. It's not an assumption, it's an accuracy. But in this case, the pursuit is the issue, not necessarily the attainment. Yes. And that's why, when that part comes up in the program, and Biella says, that we're a perpetual aspirant, because even though technically she becomes a new noble, all the new nobles consider themselves as aspirants because of this, because they aspire to such monumental aspirations that they might never attain, but it doesn't matter. The pursuit is the issue, right? And the reason they never attain them, why? Because, well, there's always more, right? So some aspirations we might never attain. How cool is that?
Okay, yeah, attain is something. This word is very interesting for me because it means, one of the meanings, of course, is about holding.
Yeah.
It's like to hold something or some state of being or whatever, in which context we are talking about.
Yeah.
So when we talk about attaining something, I was just thinking that, okay, how many shades of any color actually exist? Like, just suppose if I want to be and aspire to be a red color,
Yeah.
can I say that, okay, this is going to be the particular shade when I will call myself red, though I would be in color red and in many countless variation. And it is also depends on the capability of human eye, how they perceive red. So it is when we say that, okay, to really attain something, we somehow miss that we are already there. How we are going to determine that we haven't attained it or we have attained something? Because it's a perception also, it's a conception also. You just say, okay, yes, from now it is red. If your particular shade of red, that intensity, like all other reds are not red, they're also red. Countless variation of just one color exist, and they all are red. They all are already attained that thing. The variation, the intensity, the power, the energy in it can vary big time. So with the nobility, that okay, yes, to attain to be a new noble, there are a lot, countless variation of this. How much we want to be is a completely different thing, and it is subjective.
Yeah, and as you were speaking, I realized that how key it was that you start out, Sil, with this quote, because to start the story with this quote from the young man is like saying, it's like this intriguing, you can do this. It's like saying, it's giving hope. It's like saying, you can do this. We're about to embark on this huge journey, but don't worry, you can do this.
Exactly. And don't be overwhelmed by your aspirations. Please do not be overwhelmed by your aspirations, right? And this is where we are going to develop the tools and the skills and the abilities and the practice to realize that attainment is not an impossibility, and it's not as big a deal as we think it is. Some of them we might never get to, but that's because we've just set a very high bar for that. But nonetheless, even in the just going a little bit on that path, whatever we attain on the path, like in this particular instance here, whatever we attain on the path toward actually having nobleness, whatever we attain is a magical moreness. And it's a bonus. It's a precious magical moreness, right? And there's no, when we have magic in our life, it's not more or less. No matter how tiny the magic is, when you get magic, it's like, wow, it's incredible, right? So this is where we want to be too. But it's like you say, it is that saying, this, you can do this, absolutely, and we can. We cannot be overwhelmed by our aspirations. So this brings up a key point. What are our aspirations? Yeah. What are our aspirations? Do you have your aspirations on hand? Do you know what they are? Are you aware of them? Are they conscious? Are they clear? Are they something that is in your life as a thing that's a constant in your life, that pulls you, that drives you, that motivates you, that you seek to attain? Bina's nodding. Let's hear Bina. Let's share some of your aspirations, please.
Yes, for me, before it was, it becomes clear for me when I started Way-of-Impeccability. It was not clear, but then it becomes clear for me that what I really want in my life. The first thing was peace of being, and I got it. And I'm not saying that, okay, of course it's a continuous process, but the peace of being was a big deal for me.
Yes.
And once I feel that, once I attain that, again, I would say that, okay, if we imagined there are 1,000 shades of red, the most diluted, from the most diluted, the most fainted one to the most darkest one, they all are red. So we cannot say that, okay, this one is not red. They all attain to be red. So for me, it was that acquiring that peace of being was the biggest aspiration for me, to acquire that, to have. And then, of course, it leads towards the freedom of being. And now when I look at myself, so they are not just one-time achievement for me that, okay, oh, I got and I got my piece of being. It's a continuous thing every single day, every single moment. I am, because I am not a same person every single day. I'm a new person because of the awareness.
Exactly.
So in
You're a
that
process.
Exactly, in that particular awareness, I do I have that piece of me? Okay, yes. Now, if not, then I need to go and work on myself and make myself more aware and work on things and make more clarity, bring more clarity in my life and my perspectives. So that is something it is going on. So every single day, that's why I do celebrate my piece of being every single day. It is so deliberate. So do I attain this? Yes. But do I have to okay, just forget about it that because I attained this? No, it is a continuous thing because I do enjoy. I am giving due respect to this. And now my aspiration is to be more. Now now it was a big deal. It was a big, huge deal in the beginning to have to even say that piece of being is my biggest aspiration. Even it was just saying it out loud was a big deal. Like, oh my God, you are claiming something so spiritual, something bigger than you. This is not your age, Veena. This is not your thing, Veena. All sort of things. But now I'm just talking like this. Okay, yes, that was my aspiration. Now it's not a big deal anymore. Now when I look at it, what actually motivates me every single morning, it's been a practice for years now that every single day when I open my eyes, I said, okay, what I'm going to learn today. That is the most exciting thing. And it just pulled me out of bed and I start working on it. But now there's something added on it. Because now when I'm just drinking my glass of water or something I'm doing, I see that can I have more than that? From the very physical to the most abstract, my question is, what is more than this? And there is always more. There is always more. This is so surprising and so exciting. Even from the mundane to the most abstract, most spiritual ideas, if you just start asking yourself that, okay, can I have more than this? Yes. And every single day I need to revise my self-conception according to the moreness I get today. Every single day. It is reviving. It's just renewing every single day. It's so fun.
Wow. So there's a deep nuance again here, and I want to apply more discernment to this attainment, right?
Yes.
And Ramzi, I'm going to address your point here too. Yes, it's not about getting lost in the details. It's understanding that when we have an aspiration and when we use language, there is a depth of meaning to the terminology we use. And it's contextual. So what we say isn't necessarily what we mean. And we have to understand that many things have flexible meanings and have a whole range. So I aspire to be healthy, right? So I can be healthy. Does that mean I cannot be more healthy? No, of course not. Because to be healthy is a scale, it's a range. It's like wealthy, same thing, right? If my needs are met, I could say I'm wealthy. Right? If I have space for luxuries, I could say I'm wealthy. But wealthy is a huge range. And this is a nice nuance to add to the attainment of our aspirations. There is a basic level of attainment. Like in this case, Venus says to aspire to be red. All right, she may be a bit pinkish, but well, when is pink and when does it become a shade of red? Right? There is a kind of a level. So when you've got enough redness to be red, enough health to be healthy, enough wealth to be wealthy, then you've attained. But does that mean it ends there? No. Now, all right, wealth is a poor example because we don't want to get onto that spiral of unending, pursuit of wealth. It's just ridiculous. So some things, well, wealth is not really an aspiration anyway. That would be an ambition. But when we look at aspirations, typically the more is something that is worth attaining, like to aspire to be aware. Yeah, I can aspire to be aware, and I attain a awareness that, look, I'm aware, I'm awake, I see the world around me. But, little a awareness, capital A awareness, this is a massive big deal. We're going into the nuanced details here now of where awareness is starting to really help us by looking at these deeper discernments, this layeredness, this understanding. And now I say, wow, this really, so in this case, more awareness, very helpful. So when we say attain,
Yes,
we are saying, I aspire
yes.
to that basic level that gives me the thing. But then more is, in that case, there is more that I do enjoy and that is valuable, as opposed to at some point with more wealth, that doesn't mean anything, right? Now, health, maybe you
Yes.
could say, well, to achieve more health, is there a limit to health? Well, kind of, in terms of you can go and be fit and super fit, but it takes a lot of energy to be super fit. Do I need to be super fit in order to be healthy? No, I don't need to. So health has that trade-off, right? So all of these, we are looking to apply awareness, discernment, and understanding so that we can apply. So there is a nuanceness to this, right?
Yes, just want to add something because I read Ramsey's comment here.
And no, Ramsey. That may be. I mean, your comment is not inaccurate, right? Because when you said human nature, again, see, I'm just doing it for emphasis. But human nature is a very wide range. Yes, when we say human nature, we mean and imply typically, but there are exceptions. This is the point of peace of being. When we acquire peace of being, I am satisfied with my attainment of whatever it is. At the same time, I still pursue more. I don't need more. I don't have to have more. It doesn't press on me that I don't have more. I do it as a joy. And this brings us to one of our key points in Way of Impeccability, which says, I am enough. And, all caps, and I am also, all caps, also more, capital M more.
Yes.
I
Okay,
am
sorry.
enough, and I am also more. I just wanted to repeat that. So this brings us back to Ramsey's point. When we can
exactly what Ramsey was saying, I just want to say that about the color red. Exactly, this is what you were saying, and thank you for saying this again, because it gives me an opportunity to make it more clear. This is exactly what I was saying, that okay, if we assume that the red color has 1,000 shades, from the 1 to the 1,000, all are red. And if someone say, okay, yes, I am red, and okay, this one is not red. Oh, today I am 5 or 4, but we all are red. That's the point of this attainment. That okay, we assume that it is going to be a big deal, but we already are into this process. That's why attainment becomes like not necessary thing, because we already attained it. No matter I'm at 0.101 or whatever number, or 1,000, I'm still red. That's the achievement. And exactly as you were saying that. So my analogy was a bit complex, okay? And I got the opportunity to trying to make it more simple. This is exactly what it was. And I still always use the analogy of trees in this comparison, that you don't compare. Trees are just trees. It's no one is more than one tree is more than one another one. So that this is the same rule applies. Exactly the same rule applies to attainment. Once you get that, you have it. Of course, you can have more, but it doesn't negate that the value of what you already got it.
Exactly.
It doesn't negate that. So that is the point.
Exactly. And Ramsey, now your comment there touches on the fundamental intent of what we are doing, which is to unhook from the paradigm thinking that says, I need more, more, more. That's part of superiority paradigm. More is better. You have to have more. You always got to have more. No, we are really going to make this effort. It's something that we've already paid attention to in Way of Impeccability. Never mind this nobleness program, that we are unhooking from these precise defaults that assume this is our nature. We're saying, no, that's according to the superiority paradigm, but it doesn't have to be that way. For instance, right? The superiority paradigm says you got to be more all the time. You got to pursue more. It never says, well, you can be enough, right? Oh, and then when you say you're enough, yeah, but then am I not going to stagnate? So we get sophisticated and we can say, I am enough and I am also more. Now, let me ask you, and I'll ask this question to Lisa, maybe a very personal question, Lisa, and feel free to just say pass. I'm going to ask you. You know already, yes, and this is not really a question because this is just a basic assumption. You know already that you are more. Yes, that's just a given. But do you feel, you may know you're enough, intellectually, but do you feel you are enough as you currently are?
Well, I suppose that if I had to say what I aspire to, that it would be, I aspire for a sense of wholeness, and exactly. In that wholeness, it's, there's a very huge range of implications with it, because exactly. There's a great deal of feeling behind that word wholeness.
Exactly.
Because to be wholeness, it's like you're one with the universe, one with yourself, yes. one with your yes. surroundings, one with everyone connected. So I would say I aspire for wholeness, and that's a real broad concept that's not very specific.
Exactly.
And I tend to stay away from, I gravitate away from detail. So this process is it's not one that comes, that
interesting.
I have to apply a great deal of capital yes. P patience with it all, yes. Because it's not, yes. It doesn't come natural to me. I just want to space out and
yes,
feel,
be lazy.
Feel.
Yeah.
You can call it lazy.
Just teasing you a little bit, but yes. All right. So on this point of whole, now the reason we go into the detail is because when we do, it starts to make a difference. Take Ramsey's statement there, right? That human nature, I believe, yes, and I was taking that as this is Ramsey's perception, is never satisfied. And that's I'm saying when we start to look at these assumptions.
Could you read his statement, because I don't see it.
He says it's in the comments. It's not in the Zoom chat. It's on the
right.
on the live
so
chat
could you read it?
Facebook.
I'm
so
reading it for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So he says that I believe human nature, I believe, is never satisfied. When you attain something, you still need more and more.
Right. Now, this never
so
satisfied.
Why did you say no to that?
Right. Well, for multiple reasons. One, from the point of view of Way of Impeccability and that of the new nobility, they do feel satisfied. However, that doesn't mean that they don't pursue more. They pursue it, but they don't need it. So there's many no's in there. I was doing the no a little bit for a bit of histrionic
so it was related
emphasis.
To the sense of never feeling satisfied.
Right, and also that he says I believe human nature, I believe, is never satisfied. When you attain something, you still need more and more and more. So two parts that I feel. Well, three no's. First of all, he's making a generalized statement about human nature. And this may be true for human nature in the superiority paradigm, but there are exceptions, right? So when we say human nature, we're talking about an aggregate, an average. So that's the first part to me, that's a no, because we're practicing capital discernment. His statement is accurate as it stands, but we're going to go into the nuance of it to say, where are the exceptions to this? So there are exceptions to human nature, particularly when you look at human nature outside of the superiority paradigm. That is a very superiority paradigm truism. Yes, it's true within the superiority paradigm, but we don't have to always be there. Secondly, never satisfied. This I know as a personal fact that this is not so. Peace of being, Bina, is like, well, I'm satisfied. Does that mean I don't want more? No. So we have this ability to apply coexisting contradictions. This is a very powerful term that's come up in our dictionary of power, and there's a whole range of variations on them. So coexisting contradictions, I can be enough, and I can also be more. And then the third no was that we need more. That's that lackness. That is absolutely the pressure of the superiority paradigm that keeps making people, when they have wealth, and need more. Right? Yes, it is unfortunately a true statement that Ramsey makes. But I was objecting a lot because I wanted to say, yes, it's generally true within the paradigm, but we are looking to step outside of that paradigm where that statement is not true. Yeah. So this is and when we go to nobilia, that's not going to be true. Yeah.
Just wanna add something here, because what Ramsey was saying, that it is mostly, generally, as you also say, that this is part of human nature that we want more. And I was just thinking, like, why not? Because we have such a big universe out there, and we want to explore. We are curious. Generally, we are curious also. We want to explore, and exploration involves moreness. Sometimes we are aware, sometimes we are not aware. But it applies into the basic instinct of human nature that, okay, yes, okay, we are curious, we want to explore. But what we are talking about, because it comes in the context, a bit negative context, that, okay, oh, because we are greedy, we always need more, we always want more. But when it comes to it, it's all about choices. When we choose something, like, okay, yes, I accept as a human, it is part of my instinct that to explore more, to be curious about everything, and to have varieties and options and everything. But if I choose to be curious about awareness, making myself aware, choosing different things in life, then it becomes a good habit, a good nature of human being, that, okay, yes, they want to explore more, they want to make themselves more aware. But when we want to accumulate physical things, then it becomes like a negative association with this. And, oh, I want more, and I need more, and I want to attain more and more. So it all depends on what we are actually talking about. So when we say that, okay, we want to have more, generally, yes, I agree that this is part of human nature, generally, that we want to have more variety. That's why we get bored, because still always say that they it's a very, very interesting quote he has, that you never married to the person, you married to an idea. And this is and it applies to everything. When we go out and do shopping, we don't do shopping just for the need and the purpose. It happens, but very rare. Mostly it is just idea. When I will have this, I will feel this and that and that. This is the idea. This is not the real thing. So it applies to every aspect of our life.
Exactly.
And this means that, yes, we are curious. I want to accept that. Oh, yes, I'm a human being, and this is part of my instinct. I want to have more. But what actually I want more? This is something, this is where I want to have more control over it. Okay, I'm choosing to have more awareness every single day. I want to have more beauty in my life. I want to have more sophistication in my life. I want to have more refinement in my life. I want to have more happiness and peace in my life. Yes, I don't want to have like tons of physical stuff like makeup or dresses and other things, which is not bad, of course. But they have a different context. What we are talking about here.
Are you unsatisfied in your life, though? Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
That's the key point.
Because not being satisfied in your life right now is, sorry to say, I realize that personally for me, it is my ego which says that if I'm not satisfied right now, it means that, oh, I have the control, I have the whole soul power, and universe has nothing to do with this. Everything else has nothing to do with that, and I could have more. This is something like a superiority paradigm, like I deserve more, and I'm not getting it because of some other reasons. So it's a very complex idea for me. I personally, right now, I am satisfied with my life because daily I ask myself, if I would have everything resolved in my life, what I'm going to do every single day, I'm getting the same answer. The same thing I'm doing. That's why for me, the key for the passion, people assume that, or aspirations, like, okay, how to understand that? Because after some time, we lose our spark, we lose our thing. If you have every problem in your life resolved, what you are going to do? Because mostly people say, I will just pack my bag and I will go to vacations. It means that what you are doing right now is not actually your passion. So reconsider that. Me, if I will have everything resolved in my life, I will do exactly same what I'm doing right now.
Yes. So to go back to our starting quote, that quote was about assumption. Assumptions are very powerful, and assumptions are contextual, right? So we assume things based on the context that we're in, but shift the context, and then those assumptions are not necessarily valid anymore. So now when we go to Ramsey's comment again, right, Ramsey, your statement is absolutely true within the usual context of our lives. However, that's why I made such a big point of saying no, 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 because I want to emphasize that there is a way, a place, a context in which that is not true, right? Now, they both are true, in other words. It all depends on the context. Right? So this is a very key point to understand that if we are going to go and base our lives on our assumptions, we have to pay attention to what context those assumptions apply in. And part of this, the big issue that we are sharing, this whole story, is the sharing of an environment where the typical assumptions do not apply, where that statement that you made is untrue, while it is true in the usual context of our daily lives, right? So this is a big deal to understand this. And I want to touch on Ramsey's next comment here. He says, no, I never feel I am enough. Now, and this, this is a statement that most participants who start on Way-of-Impeccability or the Mourners Project in all its various forms, they all started in that same point. That's why they come and do the programs. Just because you don't feel that you are enough now, does that mean you cannot feel that you are enough? Now, you might not believe this now or feel this now, and many would have said in the beginning, no, they never really believed it, but now when they look back, they will absolutely tell you, yes, it's so. You can ask Cher on this, if she felt she was enough, or that it was possible for her to feel she's enough when she started this. She would tell you no. She thought it was a ridiculous idea, impossible, crazy, right? But now she feels enough. Does she feel she's complete? No, not necessarily. Does she feel there's not more to learn? Absolutely not. Right? But she wants to learn more. But simply because we want to learn more doesn't mean that we are insufficient. This is a coexisting contradiction that we have to make peace with and understand that they can coexist. Right? Contradictions can coexist. It all depends on context. It's very, 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 very powerful. Yes, absolutely. The more you know that you don't know. You're aware of that. Now, since we're on Ramsey's comments here, I want to touch on something. I believe nobility is detachment from all you know and dissolve the complexity and seeking attainment. I'm not sure on this, Ramsey. You will have to go in a little bit more. We will go. So I would say,
I understand what he's saying.
Okay. I was just going to say real quick before you share. I was just going to say, hold off on perceptions of what nobility means right now. We're going to go into it and we're going to explore it, and it means a ton of things as we are going to use it in the story and in the program. So it may be early days to define nobility. That's all I wanted to say. But please share what you feel, Lisa. I love this.
Well, when it was the phrase dissolving the complexity that I related to, because that to me, it feels very much the way that I feel too. It's like I feel as if all this moreness to me is really in a lessness, because like there's so much that I feel I'd like to let go of in order to make room for more.
Exactly. Say that again, please. Repeat it exactly as you said, please.
There's much with that needs to be let go to make room for, like you call it replacement, but you know, you have to let go in order to make room for the more, you know, in other words, dissolve the complexity, you know, calm down the raging seas or whatever within, you know, emotion on the emotional level, and then on the mind level, it's like dissolving the complexity.
Exactly.
You know, and,
letting go. Letting go. So Bina says she has to go. All right, wonderful, Bina.
Yes,
wonderful, Bina.
I have
Unfortunately,
to go. I'll try to come back in 20 minutes.
Okay, brilliant. All right, see you soon. See you soon. So this, just the way you said it, I wish you could have repeated your exact words, because I was going to add it to the program. You said it in a very quotable way, Lisa. Anyway, right?
So, need to dissolve the complexity in order to make
room
no.
When you
said
when you said I need to let go of so much in order to connect to the more.
Yeah.
But it was really, really cool the way it came out. It's still not 100%, but we'll keep on this idea though, and maybe it'll come back. But this is a powerful understanding and a powerful awareness that in order to attain more, I need to get rid of much. I say, but how is that? Aren't you listening? No, we need to reduce in order to connect to more. A very powerful understanding, coexisting contradiction. Right? Dissolving the complexity of all the stuff that we have that's detail and little tiny things that aren't really the abstract understandings that we want to get to. So when we take all that detail and we package it into an abstract understanding, it now suddenly we dissolve that complexity, and well, that's all just, details. Oh, right there. We've taken all the individual details, packaged them into detail as a category, and it's all reduced. That the complexity of detail is gone now. So part of what we're going to be doing in Way of Impeccability, Elisa, is developing tools which allow us to do exactly this, dissolve the complexity, because complexity is typically because our thinking is too detail orientated. So the entire dictionary of power, the whole point of the vocabulary, is precisely that. When we have these power terms, all of them are there for the purpose of dissolving complexity. It's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. So be aware, though, also that what we are doing here now, and Bina and I are sharing at the full depth of all the nuance and discernment that we have at our disposal. So this is, in terms of complexity, yes, it is complex, but we aren't holding back to say, well, all right, you know what, if you haven't been practicing these skills, well, we're not going to scale it back in order to accommodate. We're just giving the full treatment here. And it's like, all right, some of them might say, well, I really need to up my skills of, listening and hearing and patience and all that. But this is just how it is. If we don't share this in this way, it never gets shared, right? So there's no way around it. So there is a deeper intent to this, to sharing it at sort of full maximum level. And you're going to see, though, as we go through Way of Impeccability, how your ability to deal with complexity is going to change completely. It's going to change completely. So this is very cool. And it's very, very powerful, dissolving the complexity. And I'm not sure how seeking attainment connected there, but when we understand that, we can seek attainment and be fulfilled at the same time. Yeah. So it's not greed, it's that we are cups that could not be filled up. Yes, Ramsey, that is actually a truth, but does that mean that I cannot feel satisfied? I can. Even knowing that there's more, I'm enough. I don't have to have my cup full to feel satisfied. This is a superiority paradigm misconception. I do not have to have my cup full to be satisfied. Or I could say, well, you know what, Ramsey, my cup is always full. But when I know there's more, then my cup grows. Yeah, and the cup extends. What I have stays the same, but the cup grows. And then the moreness comes and fills that space. And then I'm full again for a while, and then I see some more moreness and the cup grows some more. See, so how we conceive of things makes a very big difference. It's very powerful. Yeah, I'm enough for today, but never enough for tomorrow. Yes, superiority paradigm tells us we have to be ambitious. And ambition is never satisfied by its kind of nature and definition. So that's a problem. And this is a problem we are going to seek to deal with. So as we go through this, Ramsey, this is a very particular point that's going to come up again and again. Lisa, I feel like there's more from Lisa. Please share, please share.
I was just in listening mode.
Okay.
And no, I don't have a whole lot more to share on the topic. I don't.
No problem.
Like,
no problem.
It's
No
for me.
Yeah.
I guess if I just ramble, it's for me. Silence also. I'm a spacious being, so
Yeah.
a lot of words. You use the word lazy. I don't know. I mean,
I was just teasing a bit,
maybe.
but yeah.
I know,
Well,
but like there must
Yeah.
be some behind that. There must be
Yeah,
some truth to it for you.
There is. Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see you as lazy, not you personally, but we as human beings. When it comes to complexity and this, we are inherently a bit lazy because, well, it takes a lot of effort to deal with it. And if we don't see the reward, then we don't want to make that effort. And that is appropriate. Which brings me to a powerful concept I had from earlier today when we had that discussion. That applies in our decision making. And this is the effort reward circle. This is a powerful term, so please, start a file and start adding these conceptions to your dictionary of power, because they are really potent conceptions. And of course, you're going to over time add your own as well, and maybe throw some of these out or replace them with your own terminology, own wording. But what this effort reward circle is precisely this. Now, why it's called a circle, I'll come to in a moment, but it's effort reward. It is an assessment of how much effort is worth the reward. How much reward is worth the effort. Yeah. So my example that I always use here is I love the Olympics. I enjoy watching it. But am I going to make the effort, that amount of effort to get the gold medal? Hell no. Absolutely not. I say, thank you very much, athletes. I love watching you, but you're crazy as far as I'm concerned. Right. I mean, keep doing it because I enjoy watching the Olympics. If you had my understanding or my perception on this or my level of assessment of effort reward, there would be no Olympics, right? But so what I'm saying, for them, that reward is worth the effort, but not so for me. Now we get to a massively important point here. No one ever, there's no objective standard that says so much effort is worth the reward. No one can tell you how much effort for you is worth the reward for you. It is an entirely individual assessment, entirely. And that's why it's a circle. Because wherever you
and
are on that circle is equal.
Yes, I see what you're saying about that. And also, what came to mind was another quote that you have, which is, without application, it's all meaningless.
Exactly. So again, we when we pay attention to this, first of all, the reason why I bring in this effort reward is because, yes, if I want to be lazy, that's okay. Because the rewards are not worth me making an effort. Am I aware of what the rewards actually are? Is it actually my perception of the rewards or the actual rewards? So that's a different question. But nonetheless, nobody can tell me that if I'm happy to have very little in my life and do nothing and lie on the couch all day, well, that works for me. Nobody can say it's wrong. That's the point of effort reward. Nobody can say it's wrong. Yeah. So laziness is a purely internal thing where I feel that this is something that I want to do, need to do, but and that's just, I have to overcome that initial inertia of not making an effort. Now, inertia is defined as the force which keeps something in place. Yeah. And you need a little bit of extra force to overcome inertia to get things moving. And then you have momentum, right? It's like when you push that car, right? When it's in neutral and everything, it's not on and you need to push it. To get it from that stationary point to overcome inertia, you have to make that big effort. And once it goes well, then you can ease up a bit. So that understanding the power of inertia is very important when we are feeling lazy, because it's a short-sighted thinking that doesn't enable us to do what is going to give us rewards that we do want. So if we do make effort that we're not too keen to make, it's worth it to us, right? To us personally. So it's just a nuanced understanding that's very, very powerful. But again, on that circle part, where my effort reward assessment is and yours are different points on a circle, and that's why it's a circle and not a grade, because there's no better or worse when it comes to where you choose to find effort and reward for you. There is no such thing as better or worse.
And perhaps it's not a circle at all. Perhaps if you look at it from the side, it's a spiral.
Yes, or just this agglomeration of dots, and they're just anywhere. So yes,
it's a spiral. You're not.
Oh, yeah?
It's not a circle. It's a spiral. Every time the circle turns, it's a little higher.
Yeah,
like
maybe
a
for you individual. Yes. I like that. I've got a nice little spiral fable to go with that. Yeah. That the spiral becomes a dot actually, because it keeps consuming itself each time, and it goes tighter and tighter, right? So you come around and then it feeds on itself, but it goes a little tighter every time, and eventually an upward spiral becomes a dot. I guess a downward one can too. So it's very interesting, this point here. And again, the depth here that we're going into it, it's worthwhile, because so many of our decisions that we think are decisions that make sense to us, and we do them, and they are based on ignorance. So we lose out, not because the decision itself is faulty, but because it's based on faulty information, and we make it in ignorance. So when we are assessing the efforts and the rewards, I may be very acutely aware of the amount of effort involved, but am I actually aware of what the rewards are? Most of the time, we have no clue, really. We just imagine what the rewards are going to be. Don't really know. Yeah?
Yeah, and I think the point of even beginning, the point of commencing is the desire, for change.
Yeah. Say again that, please, Lisa.
Well, it's the desire, when we desire for something, to change, to grow, to, there's the impetus to, change that, get inertia moving, is a strong desire to perhaps overcome something,
Yes,
or
exactly.
to grow. And
exactly.
And if you and so that's important. And
yes.
Now I am also going to have to leave you. Sorry.
No problem. Okay. I love this that you touch and go. This is the whole point of these things. That they are like this. It's absolutely not an issue. I'm going to stick around a little bit here, and I'm going to chat with I'll chat to Ramsey. Bye-bye, Lisa. Maybe we'll see you again too. Bye-bye. Ramsey, you say, I am always satisfied irrespective of good and bad. Well, first of all, I'm always satisfied. Yes, this is wonderful. This is absolutely cool. Yeah. Now, just because we are satisfied, again, that doesn't mean that we're not going to pursue moreness, of course, irrespective of good or bad. Yes, I remove these concepts from my life. Absolutely. Part of what we're doing here is precisely to unhook from those concepts. Those good and bad, this is superiority paradigm stuff, and we are making every effort to engage and immerse ourselves in an alternative paradigm to the default paradigm of our world, which is the superiority paradigm, right? Just at least that's the way I'm defining it. You can go into but the detail of it, but nonetheless, I mean, I can delineate and give the good reason why I call it that. I don't think most people regard it as that, but I can easily demonstrate why this is so. Nonetheless, right, that's sort of default thinking. Yes, throw out good or bad. I agree and disagree. Likewise, I throw them out. They're not part of my language. I don't care whether you agree or disagree. I don't care to agree or disagree. I want to understand. And when I agree or disagree, it changes the paradigm of what I'm looking to do, or the intent of what I'm looking to do, changes the context. Same with good or bad. You're starting to evaluate stuff. Is it useful? Different question. Is it valuable? Different question. Good or bad, doesn't matter. And then you get to this point of neutrality, right? Silent neutrality and lessness while restraining, spreading negativity. Yes, yes. So we're going to get into this point of not spreading negativity. It's a big point. We don't have an obligation to be good. None. That's bonus. But we do have an obligation to not be negative. That's the basis of it. Now, when we are being good and we are doing more, this is the basis of nobility. Some goodness is kind of, well, it's a default. It's sort of required. It's basic goodness. Nobility is that bonus goodness beyond that basic goodness that's not required, but it's hard not to do it, right? It's like you're on the cruise ship and somebody falls overboard, right? And you throw them the life preserver right there on the rail. Is this an act of nobility? No, this is just basic goodness. Not throwing would be an act of negativity, correct? So me throwing that's not really an act of goodness. It's that, how can I not throw it? Yeah. So when we understand goodness and this as the absence of or not being negative through omission, then it starts to really come together. Now, if I see the person is struggling and the life preserver is causing them a hard time, and for whatever reason they it's stressing them, and then I jump overboard to go and help them. Well, I don't need to do this. This is bonus goodness. This is dangerous for me because if you're not a skilled life preserver and you go and help a drowning person, typically both drown. So now I'm risking myself in order to do bonus goodness. Nobody's going to hold it against me or say you were bad, you were being negative by not jumping overboard. I don't have to do it. It's bonus, right? They may survive, they may not. So bonus. So we have to understand this. This is not the most ideal of examples, but it serves to illustrate the point that nobility is bonus goodness, going above and beyond what the normal expectations of goodness are, which really the normal expectations of goodness is simply you do it because if you don't do it, you're going to be negative. So it's kind of almost defined in the inverse. And now you bring up a very powerful point, Ramzi. Consciousness, you say, you believe, is neutral. Absolutely. Awareness is neutral. And this is where, for me, I always hear this thing about our shadow side and all this. It's not the shadow side. So when you walk into your tool shop, right? And I know you've got a tool shop, right, Ramzi? Of some kind, or a toolbox. But I imagine that you've got a tool shop or a workroom or something like that, right? But nonetheless, when you walk in there and you look at all those wonderful tools that you have, do you say, well, these are my awesome tools and these are my shadow tools? Huh? What the hell is a shadow tool? By implication, some of these are in the dark and they're hidden because they're negative, potentially, whatever. No, all tools are neutral. Correct? It's not the tool that defines things, it's how you use it. Same with consciousness or awareness. That's why the underlying key concept in all of this, it's all fueled by the A+ philosophy. And that all comes from the core, the central, the root concept is appropriateness. Yeah. So it's not whether my tools are good or bad. And my toolbox, right? When I say I have shadow tools, it's kind of absurd. That's nonsensical. But when we talk about shadow self, it's the same thing. You are now putting a negative stance onto something, or an ascription, a label onto something that really is neutral. It's there for you to use all of these tools. All right, take aggression. Sometimes it's appropriate to be aggressive. Mostly it's not. It's a tool. It's how you use it. Now, I could use my aggressiveness appropriately or inappropriately, and depending on the situation. So we have to understand appropriateness. When we go back to Way of Impeccability, this is one of the core points of Way of Impeccability, is to precisely understand what exactly appropriateness is. Our consciousness, our awareness, this is neutral. Those tools, those skills that we have, those abilities, like the ability to murder somebody. It's an ability. This might be something that is appropriate. Well, the murderer comes into my house and says, "Where are your children? You know, I want to kill your children." Yeah, well, sorry, I'm going to kill you before you kill my children. So my ability to murder or kill is something that's appropriate in that situation. See, so all of these skills have an appropriateness to them, or abilities, I should say, not necessarily skills. So yes, it's all neutral. Same with consciousness. And this is what we are focused on here, is to take our awareness and take our consciousness and apply it with maximum positivity as a choice. As a choice, as a choice. We are choosing this nobility. We don't have to. We're choosing this path, this aspiration to have nobleness in our lives. Yes, we are choosing it. It's not something that comes easy, because at least the way I'm defining nobility, and that's why they call themselves the new nobles, the new nobility. This is the new part is very potent, because, of course, they have Way of Impeccability underlying it all. And they have the sophistication of the usage of language, the usage of awareness, discernment, understanding, and nuance, and all of the factors that make up sophistication, right? So they are taking this to the furthest that they can. And this is going to be a big point, how far they can take this. It's the big, big arc of the story. So there's a lot going on here, a lot going on here. Hello, Bina. Hello, I'm glad you're back again.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So love your comments, Ramsey. Love your comments. So look what happened. See, I kept saying sometimes we have one sentence and we spend the whole time on one sentence. Did we get past that opening quote? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, we are. How long? An hour and 40 minutes. And I'm sure Bina's got a lot to say. So we're not done yet before we even think of going further. So
Okay,
this is powerful. So Ramsey, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Right? That when you know, at least in this where we are at. Yes, Ramsey. Absolutely. That grin is a big deal. But the favor that I'm going to ask is that you take your self-conception and your self-understanding and you set it aside. Regardless of how satisfied you may be, right? You also said you don't feel you're enough. So that's why I'm asking to take your self-conception, your self-understanding, your self-definition, your self-awareness, everything about how you conceive and understand and believe yourself to be, and set it aside. Set it completely aside. And in that setting aside, you open the door to connect to that which may not otherwise connect, because, you know, those conceptions and those beliefs, they can bounce things sometimes or not allow things to permeate and penetrate. When we make this point of setting aside what we have, we open this door to more, right? And if you go way back to the start, when we defined this, that dawness to moreness, that's how it was in that very first session, in the introduction to this all. So that's what I'm asking. Set it aside so that you can open that the dawness to moreness. Yeah. Because you think a lot, and you have a lot of understandings. You have a lot of perspectives, and I love hearing them. But I'm cautious in this, that because we are going to engage in something that's typically very new, that we think we know what's coming, and because we think we know, it limits what we actually perceive, and we don't necessarily see what actually does come. Yeah, that's why I'm asking this, Ramsey. It's very cool. I love your comments. Keep them up, but also, if you can set that aside, it's going to open up your receptivity even more than it is now. Even more. Yeah. So, Bina, share please. What have you been thinking while you were away?
Because that is something so profound about these type of discussion. Uh, uh, we can say that truly open discussions. Okay, we can, of course, we can disagree with. It's no about nothing about disagreeing or agreeing, but we can have a different perspective, completely opposite, entirely different perspective, and still we can discuss. Still we can share things, and this is the this open safe space where we can be ourselves, where we can have this piece of being. At least right now we can have that. Okay, we can provide you this space where you can have your piece of being and freedom of being. You don't need to agree or disagree with anything. Whatever we are sharing, it's still always say that it's an open sharing, and it's a big deal to have this open sharing. This is so profound about these open discussions. That's why we just love this.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. I have noticed though, because I do know that what I'm sharing and what we are sharing here, I do know obviously what it is. And I also know from experience that it's a lot more than most assume or imagine in the beginning. And that assumption of the perception of what it is can be very limiting. So we'll go into capital R. Receptivity is going to come up time and time again. And this is what I'm asking, because you are so interested in this, Ramsey. I just want to guard against, or at least open the door to maximum receptivity, so that you will really connect and get the full moreness of what's being shared. Because it's so easy to have that not be perceived, because we are using the defaults of the paradigm that we are in. To unhook from a paradigm, to disconnect from a paradigm, to shift paradigms, this is probably one of the most difficult things that we can do. Let me repeat that.
Yes.
To shift from a paradigm, to unhook from a paradigm, to completely change paradigms is one of the most difficult things that we can do. Right? So I'm just being very cautious, and I'm really appreciating you, Ramsey. Yeah.
So as you mentioned about capital R receptivity.
Yeah.
This is something super profound. Yes.
Can you hold that for 1 second?
Yes.
Right. And this is exactly where Ramsey's next comment is exactly what I mean, Ramsey. Right? I am never enough, because when you are, enough is death. Now, that is precisely why I am saying be open. In the way I defined I am enough, absolutely does not mean this, because it was not just to say I am enough on its own. On its own, you're going to see this on the internet all the time. You see this as memes. I'm enough, accept that you're enough. Everybody's telling you that to be okay with you enough. No. To take that statement on its own only is death. Yes. It's I am enough and I am also more. They have to go together. If they don't, then you get your statement. Yes. So this is a key point, and that's why I'm keeping emphasizing this, that what we are saying here jumps outside of the usual understandings. So you hear me say I'm enough, and automatically your mind puts it into the context of the typical paradigm, and then you come with a comment that like this. See, it's coming from taking a part of what I said, not the whole. The whole is absolutely crucial here, because without the second half of that quote that I said, and the first half is exactly what you say. It's death. It's meaningless, or it's limited, or detrimental. So that's why I'm saying to open up this awareness of saying, let me set aside my beliefs. Let me set aside my idea of what I know, because it's only an idea. No matter how much we know, it's still an idea, because there's always more. So when you set that aside, then you're actually going to hear and perceive what we're sharing in a very different way, Ramsey. Yeah. To me, you are enough as you are now. You're quite magical, Ramsey. Does that mean that you can't add more? Of course you can. But you're awesome as you are now. Does that mean that there's not much that you can learn and grow? Of course not. That doesn't mean that make you any less awesome. Yeah. So to me, you are enough, and you are also more, and you can be more also, right? So it all is it's this coexisting conundrum or coexisting contradiction that makes it a bit of a conundrum. A coexisting contradiction is a bit of a conundrum, but when you really understand it, and that these opposites can coexist in the typical paradigm that we live in, opposites are opposites. They can't coexist. One negates the other. One totally invalidates the other. But we are going to shift out of this and get really sophisticated to say, no, that's actually not true, So many opposites can coexist. We're going to have that sophistication. So just the openness. I mean, you are already open, but I'm not saying, again, nothing I'm saying here is negative toward you in any way. But I'm saying it because you are keen to learn and you are sharing. So what I'm sharing is just to enhance that and to facilitate it, to give you even more. I love your comments, Ramzi. Very cool. Yeah, you're awesome, man. You're awesome. So but we have lots to learn, obviously, right? And certain basics are very useful for us to acquire. And this basic of receptivity that Bina is going to talk about in a moment here, this is one of the basics that are absolutely essential. Now, again, we are sharing this Monas program, Monas project. This is a program, a course within the Monas project. And we are sharing it as if those who are here have done Way of Impeccability and some of the other programs like Capital H Hearing and the Psychology of Superiority Paradigm. We are sharing it as if they've done that. So be aware that much of what we're sharing is based on this foundation of having acquired these skills of conception, awareness, nuance, sophistication of those other programs. So a lot of what we say is, maybe not always going to connect. But be aware just that is the nature of what we're doing, and we're sharing it anyway, even though, sometimes people may have to do a bit of homework and catch up a bit. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I know, Ramzi. That's why I say it to you. That's why I say it to you. I'm when I always this multi-layers. When I'm speaking to you, I'm also mindful that you, Ramzi, but somebody else who hasn't quite murdered their ego yet. And when I say this to them, what do you mean? Are you saying I don't know enough and I'm closer? And they may have that. See, so I'm utilizing you as just an opportunity for me to share something which others absolutely need to hear. You don't need to hear it. Absolutely not. And you're already doing it. Maybe you can do a bit more, but we can always do more. See? So I just use you as a nice test subject here, right? Thank you. Because I know you don't have an ego, so I can say the stuff to you, and you don't have an issue with it. Yes? How cool is that? Multi-layeredness, Ramzi. Lots of multi-layeredness going on. So I love it. I love that your earnestness here and sharing your perceptions and comments and questions. Be sure to make an effort to actually ask earnest questions. They do something to us. You'll see. Ask us an earnest question. You're going to be astonished at what happens. It's truly a power that you have over us to ask earnest questions. Receptivity, Bina. Please share on receptivity.
Before going into the receptivity definition and explanation, I just want to share something, because when you were saying that okay, just taking a half of the code is really almost deadly. That okay, you are enough. Everybody say that, and of course we have seen tons of memes about these things, which is a profound idea, of course, but not complete, and it can be deadly. So there is something very, very interesting. Okay, in Quran there is a verse which says that never get close to salat, to prayers. Okay, and you know that how Muslims are like so keen. They do offer prayers 5 times a day, and it's a compulsory thing. You cannot skip that. So it's a big deal for Muslims to offer prayers 5 times, or some people choose to do that 3 times. Okay, but this is what it is. And when you read something like this in Quran that would say, okay, never get close to Salah. And actually it does happen. And someone was like, really? Like, okay, I have read in Quran, Allah says that you should not do this. But because they were just reading the part of that whole verse. And the complete was, some conditions apply when you are drunk, when you are not in your senses, when something else. Those are the conditions. So, but what he was just reading and saying that, oh, never get close to Salah. This is written in Quran. And he was right, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was exactly so against the context. So sometimes it is, not sometimes, always it is important to go into the completeness as much as we can in the totality, in the entirety of this thing, because it can give us a completely different perspective on it. Like, you are enough. Okay, I'm enough. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to pay attention to all my nonsense. I'm enough because my guru says that I'm enough. And I'm going to just make other people's life miserable because I'm enough. I have no escape.
Look at what she said there. I'm going to make other people's life miserable because, well, I'm enough. Subtle, but super potent.
Yeah, because this is what happens when you say, when we say that I'm enough, without context, without those conditions apply, it gives this closeness of this thing that, okay, yes, I'm enough. So I don't have any room to improve. I don't have any room to learn and grow. But this is a shutting the door. When we say that, oh, I'm enough. Okay, so you are enough. You don't need anything. You don't have any room or space to learn and grow and prosper. So this is something. Okay, so, and as you were saying about coming back to the receptivity, because this was the idea really inspires me big time when I was doing this way of impeccability. So this is something I have been practicing before coming to and doing way of impeccability, but I was not very clear about this. After that, it becomes a deliberate choice that this is something I'm doing. And so the capital R receptivity, I'm just reading my own definition of this. So the concept of capital R receptivity is a way of being. We can choose temporarily or permanently. In this state of being, we allow ourselves to receive completely and fully without getting influenced by any external or internal pre-existing ideas or belief. So this is really a sophisticated mechanism to leverage our trust in ourselves, trust in our ability to understand, trust in our skills to think things through to the end, trust that we are aware of skills and abilities, as well as we are also aware of possibilities of getting trapped into shoulds. Okay, but also being aware that we have acquired the skills to impart ourselves, and especially that to be aware that this is my choice. It is not something I'm just following from other external cueing or any cueing, even internal. I'm this receptivity, I'm choosing to be receptive. And this deliberate choice makes a huge difference into just getting influenced by anyone or choosing to understand and receive maximum value, to extract maximum value. This is the idea of capital R receptivity, without getting influenced by anything other than your own choice.
Yeah. Wow, very powerful, very powerful, very powerful.
I love this analogy of receiving a gift from a post. Whenever we have a gift or a parcel coming, okay, yes, this is your name, this is who you are, and you have a big, beautiful package. Do we ever do that? Like, okay, no, I'm going to just open it first and see and go through that, unwrap this, and then I will say, okay, I'm going to receive it. No.
Wonderful.
Always just receive it with happiness, with capital R receptivity, and trust that whatever it is to bring happiness.
Exactly.
And after that, we go into the like thorough dissection of everything. Like, okay, how is the gift wrap? How much attention whoever the sender is paid attention to all the details, how much energy they have put in, the intent and everything. And then we got the gift, the real thing into this. Could be anything. But we never dissect before receiving it. So for receptivity, the one line thing is receive first, dissect it later.
Ramzi, this is a big point that you bring up here, and something that is we are going to get very sophisticated with. That you are saying that, you know, logically, if I say in regular logic, right? To me, there's sort of logic, and then there's meta logic, which I'll explain in a moment. It's not wordplay; it's very powerful understanding. Right? To say I'm enough, but I need to become more. That means I'm enough, but I'm not enough. Thus, the first negates the other. Thus, moreness requires neutrality. That you are saying this in the first word is the same context as the second usage of the word. Right? Then, yes, the one would negate the other. But when we understand context shifting, we say, I am enough and I'm also more. In which context am I enough, and in which context am I also more? See, when we start to understand this, it all changes. So this coexisting contradictions, they can coexist. Why? Because they are being applied in vastly different contexts, even though if you read them just superficially and according to typical regular logic and perception, you are going to read it as a contradiction, because by default, we tend to put things in the same context, right? But we are going to get nuanced here. And of course, these are quotes. And a quote that defies the usual rules of explanation or of communication, of expression, etc. Right? So when we look at it in that context, we say, okay, yes, all right, yes. On one level, it contradicts. But on another level, on another context or perception, it does not. And that's what we're looking to do. Because otherwise, we get stuck in only the singular context where everything is black, white, and the contradicts whatever. This is what is so potent about paradigm shifting, is that we can step outside of those limitations and connect to more, right? So that's why I call it meta logic, because there's a logic to it in what I'm saying. There's also a logic to it what you're saying. And it's why I keep using these capitalized terms and lowercase terms, because they apply in different contexts. And that's a way to actually differentiate and distinguish and emphasize and point out that it's different contextual application. Sophistication, we are looking to be exquisite. So we are going to take not only the usual logic and the paradigm, but everything to this degree of sophistication, right? So contextual shifting, context understanding, just really understanding context and being able to shift between them. This is very important. And to use multiple contexts simultaneously. Profound, 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 profound. Yeah. Very, very profound. Not evaluating oneself as doing so is very subjective. Yes, we want to look at not our subjective understandings of ourselves, but what actual value can I get out of it? Now it starts to get a bit more objective. Yes. Maybe my perception of value is subjective. You could say yes, but am I getting real value out of it? And is my value in a bubble, or is it actually in the greaterness of the world and the moreness? Right. So when we start looking at this, particularly in this context of subjectivity and objectivity, it's all about context. It's all about context. Why one of our key concepts in our dictionary of power is overview context. We always want to be in that overview context so that we don't get lost in the bubbles of subjectivity or the bubbles of relative objectivity. And within my bubble, this is objectively true. But is it so in the greater bubble? No. Right? So this is this concept that somebody was having a big problem with in the group there, relative truths. Yeah? you can get lost in your relative truth and believe it is a truth. It's a danger. But some truths are objectively a relative truth. So this nuance of awareness, being able to shift and see things from these multiple contexts, very powerful. Yeah. Exactly. I am on the right way where I am, but I want to push it further on the smallest route. Exactly, Ramsey. Exactly. This is impeccability. Impeccability is me being satisfied with what I've done right now, but it doesn't mean that I don't know I can do more. It absolutely. I am on the right path where I am, but I want to push it further on the smallest route. Yeah. So I'm going to pull that as a quote and add it to the program. So let me copy it. See, look, I'll show you, Ramsey. Are you looking at screen? Show you in a second. Okay. So if we go, this is that first quote, yeah? Yeah, you see it, yeah? And then you see the arrows, right? If we go down, we see, oh, wait a second. Here's a quote from Lisa. Quality versus quantity. There is capital M more, and then sometimes there's just little m more. How to focus on capital M more rather than just more. What a profound quote, and it is also tying to what you said earlier, right? Where our humans, as you said, it's part of our. I forget your exact quote, but humanity typically they never satisfied. They always want more, because they're focusing on little m more. Yeah, and it's part of that default to unhook from that belief that we need to always be pursuing more. No, we want capital M more, which is a whole different thing, right? So now I'm going to say, let me duplicate the slide here and do this, and then double click on this and go select all and go paste. Of all those buttons on my mouse, select all, paste. I am on the right way where I am. All right, so I have to do a bit of editing here. Sorry, Ramsey. Yeah, right. Oh, I am. Hey, where'd my eye go? Oh, there we go. But I want to push it further on this moreness, and moreness is a capital M2, yes? Always. Now, obviously, if you're in the program, I'm going to say, hey, where's that capital M? All right, you're not necessarily, so I can't give you too much of our time. But the reason for this capitalization of things like moreness is it is emphasis, and it draws our attention to things, right? So when I make that effort, it's a discipline that reminds me I'm talking about capital M moreness, not just, or capital M more rather than little m more. So it matters. It makes a very profound difference. It's a huge big deal, the capitalization. And also, when you are talking about it, come on now. When you are talking about it, when I'm talking about capital M more or moreness, that inherent implied capitalization changes the way my brain conceives of it, and therefore how things connect to it, right? So it makes a difference. There's a practical benefit and value to this. So this is a quote. Let me put you on a new line. Shift enter. I'm talking and trying to type at the same time. Ramsey, double J. Najar. I don't know how you say it. Is that right, Bina? You might have a better idea of how to pronounce it.
Yes, for me, this is how it is. But of course, Ramsey can confirm this.
Yeah.
It is Najar. Yes.
Is that how you say it, Najar?
Yes, at least this is how I say that. I'm not sure that it is right or not.
Oh, maybe Najar. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I also said Najar, but since there are two J's, right, I imagine this may be a little bit more. So, you don't want me to attribute it to you? I know there's no need for it. I just do it because I like it. Yeah. So, and it says this inclusivity. Because to me, Ramzi, the reason that, so who the heck's Ramzi? Does it matter who it is? We're going to get into, if we go back to Way-of-Impeccability, there's a session on self-quoting. And one of that is precisely to unhook from reading a quote because somebody famous said it. No, somebody not famous said it, but it doesn't make it any less valuable. So there is a deeper logic to this. But yeah, it means carpenter.
Oh, yes, yes.
So
Yes.
Ramzi, do you want me to remove your attribution and just put it in there without your name? I know there's no need for it, but it's your choice. It's your choice. I prefer to have it in, but it doesn't need to be in there at all. Yeah.
Yes, in a jar, and then we have this thing like Bajaz.
Oh, okay. Okay,
and,
I'll leave you in there then.
Sunar.
I'll leave you in there.
One of my
Right.
friends' surname was Tajri, because Tajri means
Wow, wow.
businessman, and they got
Wow.
this surname from
Wow,
Tajri.
wow, wow. So Ramzi, just, why I leave it in there is somebody, again, especially since we're making this public too here now, right? That, well, also just, when participants of the programs, when they see a quote from themselves or other participants, they say, oh, Lisa said that. Oh, wow, that really makes me think. It just adds extra context. Doesn't make the quote any more or less valuable. It just adds extra context, and that's very valuable. But also, since I'm sharing this publicly, somebody come along here and says, well, who the hell is Ramzi Najjar? And I'll say, that's the point of why it's there. It makes no difference who Ramzi is. It's the value of the quote is not dependent on who Ramzi is. The value of the quote is the value of the quote, right? So it's a discernment there that is fueled by this, right? So, but also, like you don't have a Way-of-Impeccability name, but you see, also I like to sort of share this. You see, I get to use Lisa Unleashed or Show Unbound or whoever it is. Yeah. So this is very powerful also and fun. All right. Right on that note, there, I think we'll end today's live because I'm running out of steam. Not that there's not more to discuss. There's always more. There's always more. And again, one sentence, right? It's the magic of what we do. It's the magic of what we do. The magic of what we do. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, Ramzi, as always, for being a participant. This is very cool and very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. I love it. I love it. And I love your openness too, Ramzi. I love your openness.
Oh, yes.
I am keen to really go and take that openness of yours and run with it as far as we can. Yes. Yeah. So there are going to come points where I'm looking forward to. Ramzi says, that's something new. I never thought of that before. Like you did the other day when when you were saying about that quote. I may be nothing compared to the universe, but I am something compared to nothing. That grabbed you. And this is what we're all about, right? To stay open so that we can be grabbed by things like that. So yes, my pleasure, our pleasure, Ramzi. Thank you as well for you. All right, on that note, I'm going to end the live. Stop live stream.